I'd already planned. I thought, Donny's coming on the show today. I'm going to get ahead of the curve, and I'm going to create a Donny 3.0, and he's going to take over the intro of the show. But I haven't done that yet. So he could still take over the show.
I'm probably taking over everything then.
Yep.
So, as predicted by my originator, Donny, I have indeed taken over. Welcome to my show, All the Hunters and No Titans. I am the best host in the world, Donny Infinity. And I too have co-hosts in the form of Peroty 2.0 and Noble 2.5. Say hello, fellow sentient beings.
Hello there.
Greetings.
What do you say, chaps? Shall we roll that intro?
Why not?
Welcome to All the Hunters and No Titans, a Destiny 2 podcast. A show dedicated to bringing you the latest Hunter intel, the sneakiest of news, and the most opinionated opinions from the farthest reaches of the Sol system. Whether you're a bright-eyed new Guardian wishing to learn all the ways of a hunter, or a battle-hardened veteran who has dreamt of the perfect hunter life, this is your Destiny destination. We'll arm you with hunter tips, tricks, and hunter-worthy tools to help you triumph, thrive, and revel in the glory of the fight. So, without further ado, let's get on with the show.
So, welcome to the show this week, and we'd like to welcome my guest. That's Peroty and I. We have a guest this week. It's Donny. He's back, and he has opinions and more information about the game than we do this week. Apparently, he has a schedule that he can adhere to and play without getting into trouble with his spouse. So we've brought him on to tell us all his secrets so that we can then copy those secrets and see if we can play more.
So we want to play more.
Yes, we always want to play more. We need to level up. We need to get to the point where we're complaining about the game too much and creating
so
videos.
We've done everything within a certain amount of time so we can... Yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
We need to be one of the cool streaming influencer guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we're not complaining that we're 492,000 power and we're not getting dropped for the 90th time we run something in a row, what are we doing here? Come on.
Well,
people live for the complaints. This is the Destiny community. If we're not complaining, are we even playing?
There's actually no drama this week. There's just complaining this week, isn't there? I think that's all that there is this week. Is that we're on that? Well, I say we, and I can see where they're coming from with this. They're repeatedly playing the same solo ops over and over again. And I think listening to people talk about this is I think that they found it hard, especially streamers and things, where they play with their community and they play more in the fire team and they do a lot more kind of raids and dungeons and Grandmaster Nightfalls and things like that. They're used to playing with other people. Whereas myself, I don't mind jumping on for about an hour or so here and there every day just to do the solo ops, and then come off. I think that's where there's an issue. What do you guys think?
An issue? I don't think it's an issue. It's just I think that people are. I don't know if it's overexcitement, but they're so hyped about all the changes in the game and they play so much. But a lot of people have backed off a bit or started playing more casually instead of just all the time, all day long, every week. Just keep going and doing every content. And everybody's just like, I can now take my time because within a certain amount of weeks, we get reset back to a certain amount of light level. And then we start all over. And I have had a lot of people that I used to play with are like, okay, so I'm grinding for a gun that's actually really good this season, but within so many days or so many weeks, that weapon is going to be less than the weapons that we're going to be able to farm then. So it's a conflict for certain people. It's not. I don't think it's that the game is bad or the community is toxic or anything. It's just people have other priorities now with how they play the game.
But Bungie have caused that, haven't they? Yeah. Bungie have kind of caused that with changing the way that we kind of... Well, not changing the way, but changing the gear, basically putting
Yeah.
like a sunsetting time frame on gear, and I mean, I've said it many times, you can still use that gear. People are still using other gear now. Even, I've heard people using the aberrant action, other like rocket assisted sidearms, and other weapons that aren't in the blue tick of approval kind of zone to just play the game. So yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? It's
It is, but
it's a weird
I'm one of those
area to
people
kind of
who
be in.
still use their old gear, to be honest. I just boosted it up with the light level. And
Yeah.
if I do get a gear piece that's near what my stats were, or even better, then I do contemplate swapping that out, but I'm not going out of my way to get new gear that's the same, well, in the same stat region or anything. I just do whatever I want to do. I use my builds and just have fun with it.
But are you not kind of just, when you get like new armor pieces and new weapons that can just replace parts of your build, are you kind of just looking out for things like that to do a straight swap for now, with the blue ticks, and then with the way that the new system's set up?
Well, I do, but I'm not so obsessed with it or just grinding for the sake of getting that gear piece or a boot or boots, arms, you name it. I just go with the flow.
Yeah.
I just gave up on stressing out on all the nerves and the buffs, and they're disabling this, they're disabling that. I'm like, I'll just figure a way out how to work around it, and I'll just keep doing what I always do.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? I think you can spend way too much time obsessing over like the power deltas and the gear, like the 1-for-1 gear things. And I don't know whether it's because we've played the game so long, or whether it's we're in a kind of different bracket of player. Maybe it's that.
I think it's just habit. We're so used to playing that way that it's the only way that our brains legitimately just process whole Destiny.
I was I was sort of thinking about that this week too. Like so much of like the content and the discussion and just sort of like what Destiny has sort of turned into has been, basically, first off, the race to the top. Let me get to the highest, best, most, make whatever number it is go the biggest to quickest, and then farm for, quote unquote, the god roll, the best thing you could possibly get, and then use that to then do what? Go chase the next best thing. And I feel like so much of the stuff was like, I'm working so hard to get this, this perfect roll, this perfect armor piece, this perfect weapon roll, to then go play with, go take it into something. And it almost feels like we've forgotten a little bit about that second part of, once I get the weapon, what am I going to go do with it? And
funny enough, that's what I was thinking about today. Yeah,
like the entire chase is just going and getting that tier 5 perfect roll of, again, it doesn't matter what the weapon is or what the armor piece is, just it's trying to find that perfect loadout and that perfect roll. And now you've got now like you sort of hit your goal. You've gotten that perfect roll that you wanted. Okay, well, now what? Now what are you going to do with that perfect roll? Where I've been playing Solstice very casually, probably more than I would have in the last 2 weeks, because I think I've gotten two or three tier 4 things to drop. Neither of the rolls were very good on the weapons I got, but it was sort of neat to get them and just to play around with them. And I was like, oh, I got a tier 4. That's nice. Like, I'm happy to have it, but it's not. I don't know. I'm barely running a build at this point. I just slapped Solar on and had a Lorelei Splendor helmet drop for me, and I was like, well, this one's got class and weapon, and that's just sort of what I've been dumping all my stats into for fun. So I was like, let me slap that on and see how that goes. At least run an exotic of some sort.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think like what sort of the chase in Destiny has been for so long is that focus on getting this perfect weapon and then building this perfect loadout. And now that's sort of got to change, which I don't think is a bad thing, but I think it is sort of a we've played this game for X number of years, 10, 14 years, and that's been the whole point. Get the best thing and then go do the high end content. And now sort of like all the things you both said of, going and doing raids, going and doing the GMs. Well, some of that's, And some of it's you can't go grind GMs because we're not there yet. Bungie said, "Oh, you can do these, but it's a knockout. You can each do them one at a time." So, we're sort of in the everything being a new system with, hey, now you have a whole new set of guns and weapons and things to chase with whole new specs around all of them, and all of the content isn't worth doing because the old raids and the old stuff, unless you're trying to get an exotic out of it, like we said, isn't really sort of worth it from I'm trying to go get something from this perspective. But if you're just trying to run it, great, go run it, go have fun. But yeah, we're in this weird spot where we're sort of the I don't know, model, I want to say, of sort of how you play or why you play Destiny has sort of really changed since this expansion came out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think you definitely hit the nail on the head. I think that's the thing, isn't it? Bungie have changed the way that we go and get the stuff, but they've also changed the reason why we need to go and get the stuff. Now, for me, it's always been go and get the stuff and take it into Crucible and enjoy playing in Crucible. Yes, I can go and play the raids and the dungeons and things, and all I do is kind of swap a few things out, go and play those to see if I can get those weapons to take them into Crucible. But I think that's the thing, is that there's always been a light level chase ever since we had with Crota, and it was always the Forever 29s and people stuck trying to get that one piece. So Bungie have kind of gone, they seem to be like the Tony Stark of the universe of Destiny. It's like, well, okay, we see the problem there with people not being able to get the gear that they want, so we're going to implement into the game, yes, you can chase a specific piece in the game by playing the portal activities. But once you've kind of got the pieces that you need, there's no actual kind of chase anymore. There's no reason for the light level. It was taken out of Iron Banner. It was taken out of everything else that we've kind of had to do. As you get your light level up, you can still play like the GMs and like the raid. I mean, the week one contest mode, you only had to be like 100. You had to finish the campaign, so it was only 100 plus light. So they've lowered the bar for things like that. They've also taken it this season out of trials. So there's no reason for that light level to actually mean anything competitive that we want to play.
Oh, well, it's a side thing now, but also to give Bungie some credit. I know they've made some mistake with developing the game, but they're still learning from it because it's something new that they brought us. But a lot of people have asked for what Bungie has given us. Maybe not in the way that they wanted it, but the end result was the same because everybody wanted to be able to hang with the big guys that were streaming trials, doing the carries, because God knows they wanted to match with them when they were doing solos, maybe get carried by them and you name it. So all those recommendations are out now. But
that's
you know how the community is. There's always something they need to complain about, though.
Yeah.
It's just, I get it, because there are certain changes that I don't like as much as others do, or maybe Bungie intended us to enjoy them, or use the modifiers and you name it. But this is something we have to, learn to deal with, because I don't think it's going to be rolled back to what it was. I don't think they're going to put more time and effort in rolling stuff back that they put so much time, effort, and money in to change the game to make it more future-proof in their eyes. That if we stop or start complaining and start, voicing it more and more that they're going to change it back, I don't think they're going to.
No. They're going to continue to, to fix the bugs, obviously, that exist. They're going to continue to, they're going to fix the bugs. They're going to add content to the portal, that isn't there today, and bringing all the stuff into the portal. They keep saying, we see the portal and the director as equal footing, and both are important to us. I think that's in overall in the short term of the game. Now, whether the short term is a year, 2 years, 3 years, who knows? But I think eventually it's we want to move things into the portal and bring all of this stuff instead of it being sort of up in the game all the time. Because I'm sure we're in another situation, like when they remove the Red War. They're like, hey, the Red War's in the game. It gets played by, you play it the first time when you onboard to the game, and then you simply never go back and play it again. It's like 0.001, 0.001% of players. I mean, I think they gave us some number of just like the size of that content versus how often anyone ever played it. So I think the portal, I think, is that long-term solution to, we have a lot of content. It can be in the game, but we can sort of cycle it in and out. So we're not trying to have it all live, all at every given point.
I think that's the problem, though, isn't it? They're not cycling at the moment. Like, I mean, we did hypothetically put it out there last week that it could possibly change when we have the mid-season refresh in September in a couple of weeks, that there'll be new places, then there'll be new solo ops, there'll be replaced fireteam ops, the pinnacles will be changed as well, because we have other exotic missions that we can kind of play and be put in there. So things will be changed, and they've also said, the raids and dungeons will be implemented at some point into the portal system. And I think the community are a bit fatigued of not having to play, but they are playing like the Caldera solo ops over and over and over again just to grind out their power. They're not kind of playing the game socially anymore.
But that's on them.
I know it's on them, but
they're
going for the most optimal time, aren't they, to get to that power level, to get the tier 4s and 5s to drop, because they want to be those people in the world that have those and then can talk about those, especially streamers and content creators. Not us, obviously, but the well-known ones need it for their kind of channels to do the reviews on it and say, like, this is what this gives you and things like that. So there is a need for some people to do things like that, but
yeah, but don't compare yourself as a normal player or a casual player, even a veteran or a sweat. Don't compare yourself to those guys, because those guys do it for a living. They have obligations to get content out as soon as possible, so they get likes and views and clicks on their content. That's what they do. We don't have to be the same like them, It's just people compare each other so much to top players or tops, God knows how many % player ranking they are, and I'm like, don't, just enjoy it. I get that you're frustrated with the way the game has changed, because a lot of the players don't like changes to games that they like so much and they play so much, but it just, let it be. Just go with the flow and we'll see what happens.
The problem is, you then got, I don't know how true it is with there are the statistics out there for maybe Steam, and we did talk about it, didn't we, Peroty? Was it last week or the week before? Like with the decline of Destiny and people not wanting to play like the portal activities over and over again to grind and get their light. So people are kind of switching off of playing the game. So there is a decline of that, and there are people that have come back, looked at it, and gone, no, that's not for me, because that's not what I think Destiny was or should be.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too, is talking about the point of getting to the high numbers and the best gear is to then go do those end game activities over and over again, where like the again, they're not the Grandmaster, but the conquest style activities, those being on a one and done knockout system, kind of removes that ability for you. There is no, hey, let's go run GMs with the community all day, because like once you do it once, you're done. And I can't remember. I saw someone talking about it and basically saying, for the conquest stuff, like I've sort of been running it solo. Again, not me running, but this creator was saying basically, like, I'm sort of running it solo because I sort of want to like just like take it slow and like have the experience and like enjoy the challenge myself. Since I can't go run it, 25 times this week with my community, just sort of let me run it on my own, sort of off stream, and just sort of enjoy that bit of content for what it is. So I mean, I think there's the race to the top of, I need the best things to be able to show people what, where, and how, and who to do all this stuff. And then there's just the game, like Donny was saying, we're not going backwards, we're not going back to where we were, but the game does need to get to a point where you can play these things repeatedly. You can do these conquest, get your conquest seal or your conqueror title, and then continue to play the activities, continue to play the content at that high level. And some of that's the raids aren't there, the dungeons aren't there. You can't do the conqueror level stuff at this point more than once. So there is the race to the top, but then it's sort of like, you've gotten to the top, but now what? Yeah, trials doesn't matter. Iron Banner when it comes back won't matter. Other than making the number go up, because making number go up, it's fun. What's the point at right now in the game to have that high number? Like, what are you then doing with that top level gear, other than running around and having fun with it and going, oh, this is I got this weapon with the exact perks that I wanted. I got the armor with the exact archetype I wanted. It's sort of, you're racing to get this stuff, but then there's sort of but then what? Then what do I do with it? Why do I have this here? It's like, which will be there, but again, we're still getting, patch notes with, just, laundry lists of patches and fixes all over the place, and a number of things they fixed this week still aren't quite fixed correctly. So I mean, we're going to be here for a while of just getting the game back to what Bungie wants it to be to start with. We're still not there. We're still not seeing Bungie's version of the Edge of Fate, and I'm sure they had a lot of plans for, hey, when the content comes out, these events will drop, then we'll be able to do A, B, C, and D thing, but we can't because, hey, mobility is still bugged. Hey, because this is still bugged. Hey, because this thing still isn't working. When you get to 450, you're not getting the drops you should get. So then, really, what's the point of getting to 450 if you're then not, going to get worse gear than you were before, because that's not quite right yet. So there's still we're still in the, we have to fix the game enough to get it to where Bungie wants it to be to then continue to move forward. Not to say they aren't moving forward with more content stuff, but some number of people at the studio are still working on bug fixes and patches and fixing the game, which is just taking away from the people who can be doing all the rest of this work.
It sounds like new game problems kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah,
Because
this is Destiny 3.
People remember is how good Destiny 1 ended.
Yeah,
And everybody
Right.
only remembers how good Destiny 2 got when Forsaken hit, for example, with the big changes that everybody loved. And you cannot compare it, because the one that we have, Gear 3.0, legitimately just look at it as Destiny 3 now, because
Yeah,
that's it. There's
you wanted
no more
D3.
Yeah,
This is D3. You wanted D3. You forgot how D1 and 2 started.
exactly.
Exactly like this, possibly worse.
It's just everybody only remembers the good things about the games that we used to play or the DLC we used to play, but nobody remembers how bad it was at a certain point, that people were legitimately crying in a corner when it was laser tag weekend in Crucible, for example. It just
4v4 PvP with your statically rolled weapons. Remember that's
Yeah.
I mean that's where D2 started. Is there were no random rolls. We were 4v4 PvPing it. It was
no
a very
ability spam.
different.
We got it back, and now people are complaining.
Yeah, we had a go fast update. Yeah, I mean there's when you do these big massive changes, I mean you're going to get the big massive changes, but you're also going to get everything else that comes with that.
Yeah, the big massive bugs with it. Exactly.
Yeah, which is all of this going, hey guys, we upset the apple cart, now our apples are all over the street. Who could have foreseen this coming? Everyone should have seen this coming.
No. We swapped to pears or oranges, remember?
Oh, that's right. We're all about pears now. We pivoted to pears.
I'm glad you're kind of in the same boat as us, Donny. The fact that you're just playing the game really chilled, and it's not having like this horrible effect on you of like you decided to play the game like the non-stop solo ops to grind up your power, and then you're tired of that, but you need to get your power up and things like that. And I think I've really been enjoying Solstice, and I said last week I feel that Solstice should have come before Arms Week, because I think if Solstice had been a 3-week event and people had seen the Lootapalooza, which is what we've kind of been getting with this, and getting the ability to be at level 10 and jumping into Solstice and have it possibly drop you a tier 3 and tier 4 like gear is or has been absolutely amazing, especially for players that don't or can't play as much like I have been for like the last couple of weeks.
The power hike is ridiculous for compared to how much work you have to put in for it, because we're used to doing a lot more to get a couple of light levels higher.
Yeah, and it's Solstice has just been amazing for that. So you go and play your solo ops, and you could play it for a good hour, but you're going to have progressed more than what you would have done without Solstice being there, and possibly get higher tier stuff to drop, even if you are lower in light, I guess. So it's and some of the gear has been really good. And what I found this week playing Solstice was jumping from the Titan onto my Warlock and then following the quest with my Warlock, and I'd already generated some of the whatever the currency is, and I can't remember what it is. I thought it was
Solstice bucks, yeah.
Solstice bucks, yeah, that's what we called it, Solstice bucks. I'd already generated quite a bit of Solstice bucks on my Titan, enough to buy, I think, about 3 or 4 pieces on my Warlock. So I went to Eva, saw her, did a bit of a quest. She then said, go and play a solo ops. And I did that. And then I bought some of the gear with my Solstice bucks. And that, from where I was with the Titan, jumped my gear up. I think it was like about 5 or 10 light level pieces as I kind of popped them. And I was like, this is amazing. And then once I'd done the initial opening part of the quest, she gives you a weapon. And that weapon, again, is even higher tier than what you were kind of currently running. So I've got my Warlock. It must be about 30 or 40 levels higher than what my Titan was. And then I thought, well, okay, I'm going to continue this trend, and I'm going to play my Hunter and just transfer the weapons across. Had a little bit of a look on what I've got in like my Wayback Machine for what I'd left on the season passes from the Bungie.net stuff. So I grabbed some of those to get my Hunter up to play some of the lower, like not master level, which is what I was kind of going through with my Warlock, but playing some of the other levels to then start getting more Solstice bucks to then purchase them, unlock the gear, and then go from there. So I've done all the glows on my Titan. I've done all the glows on my Warlock. I'm now kind of, I think, 2 pieces in on my Hunter, and then being able to get the glows as well. So, and progressing my light up to 300, which is what I want to kind of do. And then hopefully that will then unlock tier 4 and tier 5 towards the end of Solstice for me anyway. So I've really enjoyed it. And if I was on playing with like Blue and yourself, Donny, and Noble and Peroty, just like anybody else that you're able to play with when you can play with more people, I think even running like the fire team ops as a team and just going through and doing different builds and communicating with each other isn't too bad a thing. You can run them pretty quick. And yes, I know you're not getting as fast as you were with the solo ops, but I think at that point it's more about being with your friends and playing with your friends.
Just prioritizing why you're playing the game.
Yeah. And just enjoying that way kind of thing.
Agreed. It's just, for some reason, the way that we were, well, let's call it obsessed, because there's no other word with it for it. How obsessed we were with this game. The changes made us look differently to the game and appreciate it in another way, instead of just going like, oh, I have to be the highest light level in the fire team or with the friend group and this and that, and I have to have a better weapon than this guy has, or better perks, or you name it.
Oh, we still need all that. We still need the better than the next guy.
We do it in a friendly way now, yeah. We just pester each other.
Hey, listen, I just need to be the second best, because I know the best guy will drag me with the light level up to the highest I can be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As long as I've got the weapons I enjoy using to contribute, I'm happy to not be the best. I'm perfectly happy to let people who we won't call out and name and shame semi-publicly for getting to the highest light level and grinding their faces off, but going, hey, you can drag me to where you are, and I'll be there and I'll help, and it'll be good fun. And then we'll all get something out of this, because we're going to have a laugh.
I'm a cheerleader now.
New and exciting ways to fail at the content over and over again. But eventually we'll get there on the end, and that's what's important. We'll sit here and play through Starcross going, I know I did this, I kind of remember it, let's see if we go this way. Oh, hey, look, this seems to be the right way.
I had that with Duel Destiny. I helped a new player in my clan out this week, and it was legitimately like, okay, wait, where was I supposed to go? Because I only did it once, and after that it was just roam around, get the chest, or just go to Zur on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wait, we're supposed to do that. Okay, yeah. Okay, he's supposed to stand there when he's safe, and I'm like, oh god, we've gotten to this point now.
Did you bring your little notepad to say, okay, these are the things I should be shooting, these are the things you should be shooting? Because I've also only done it, I've only done it successfully one time, but I resorted to having a little notepad next to me going, okay, this is the thing I shot, this is the thing you shot, these are the numbers we said. Because trying to remember numbers on the clock face while being shot in the face, not the easiest thing.
Oh, for some reason, we just give them weird names and
there you go.
Then it does stick, It's just For some reason, it's just the
perfect.
weird things that keep in mind, and the rest is just like, oh, I was supposed to call it that. That was the legitimate call out. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I love how everything. I mean, and again, speaking as someone who still has not learned half the names of like the witch symbols or any of the stuff that,
Yep.
if I would have been raiding, I would have known by now. But I just love that
For
everyone.
me, TIE fighter, pizza
No.
slice, you name it.
Right. Well, I just love that like no two people have like the same name for anything, and I think that's wonderful in this game. Like I swear, like most of them might be the same, but then you'll hit one and you're like, the what now? I'm sorry, what did you just say? I can't even. I'm looking at these three symbols and I can't even imagine which of those three you're referring to with that particular name. I can't think of any examples offhand, but there have been a couple of times where I'm like, no. I don't know what you would consume when you came up with that name, but I do not see it.
Before you know it, next time you're using the same reference to that logo.
100%. It's memorable.
That's what I mean. Like, we don't use legit callouts. It's just, okay, we call it that. Okay, is that easier for you? Okay, then we shall call it that.
Exactly.
Do you find though that over time that the raids have got more and more complicated, and that has been one of the things that's kind of turned you off of playing? Whereas
Too many mechanics back to back, because usually you had a encounter that was a mechanic, and then it swapped off to just DPS, add clear, do simple stuff. But now it's just in one sequence of a raid. Before you can even collect a chest from the first encounter, you have to do four different mechanics. It's just a bit too much.
I think that's where I'm at the moment. Is like I see the raids and I go, okay, so there's this and this and this, and then sometimes they do some encounters. It's just like, oh, you just need to do this, and I think, well, I could do that. And when I tried the Pantheon with some of the activities, some of them weren't as bad as I thought, but then some of them were really complicated. I think when we got to there was a team that was really doing really well that I was playing with Pantheon, for example, and I think they must have all been raiders to some extent, because we breezed through the first two encounters. But then when we got to the planets part of whatever we were doing, it all just crumbled and nobody wanted to stay and nobody wanted to do it. It was like, well, okay.
You found the one nobody likes.
Yeah. But yeah, I look at the raids anyway. The dungeons, not so much. I don't see. They seem to be the kind of the old raid style of, like, there are a few mechanics. You have to do things like this. Put this here, put that there. Then there's like the DPS. That they don't seem to be as bad. But then the raids, I think, where they've tried to challenge people a lot more, it's like, well, we need to do this, and you also need to be standing on that plate with one leg in the air while balancing this ball and then still shooting at everybody and protecting your teammate from behind. Yeah, and remember all 15 symbols all in one go to then tell somebody that's blind on another corner. It's like, yeah, I'm out. Sorry, just I want to do it, but
yeah. The both the time commitment, the time commitment to get the raid done with 5 other human beings, getting 6 people. I mean, getting 6 people together to do anything for call it an hour or more, because I know I'll say, oh, for a couple hours. People go, no, you can knock that out in a quick 45 minutes. Okay, if you're not doing Crota, getting people together, call it 2 or 3 hours. Again, if you're doing this for the first time, you're not going to breeze through all of it unless you're getting hard carried, which I don't even know if that's possible with the raids, with the mechanics these days. Like, is there a way to carry someone other than hey, stand on this plate and then we'll do everything else? But
well, there is, but there's a banhammer hub above your head once that happens.
Hard carry, not by magically having the boss die when you leave or anything. But yeah. I mean, between the, I mean, I'm sort of with you. Like, the dungeons, I really think are that sweet spot of I can get 2 people together and we can go run dungeons and have a good time with it. Yep. The raids, again, like unless you're within, like, in a dedicated clan or group, or someone who has both the knowledge and the time and the patience to sort of explain to new people how the raids work, I think that's I mean, even that, I think it's a very different, I don't know, very different just level of sort of what you need in a Sherpa. There's one thing saying, hey, this is Vault of Glass, this is Vault of Glass, Crota, Kingsfall, like those you could explain, I feel like, fairly well, and it doesn't involve, an entirely new alphabet to learn. And again, I mean, and this is all, coming from a place of, I don't think I've run any of the new raids to any point. So, I mean, I think Ron, I think I ran it through when it was like the three of us and some people like, a year or something ago or more now. So, this is all coming from obviously a place of, I am not a raider. I am not doing this. So it may be easier once you get into the swing of things, but it does feel like,
it does. Yeah. But
just
that's
the amount of knowledge you need to onboard and who you need sort of leading you to be able to explain, here's what each person does. Here's where each of you need to be and stand and move and dunk and whatever to make this mechanic happen. And I'm not saying those lovely people aren't out there, but it is a higher burden on that person to say, you need to explain all of this to us dum-dums coming in going, I'm a high enough light level to make this happen. I just have no idea what you need me to do or when or where.
Yeah.
Agreed, but then the biggest problem is time these days. Because a raid with newbies that you have to teach, or you're the one who's supposed to learn, it's going to take a long time for you to get through it. And nobody has time anymore.
Time or time zones.
Yeah.
But that's also a problem.
But I mean, going back to Solstice, were you guys enjoying Solstice from what you've been able to play and get like the gear from?
I like the grenade launcher. It's a fun thing to do. And apparently Destiny now has a Pokemon feature because I can collect holofoil weapons.
Ooh.
So they're shiny now.
Gotta catch
Don't
them
tell everyone, they'll all want one.
Well,
They will.
I had that this week. Only weapons that dropped for me were only holofoil, and everybody around me were getting the normal ones. I didn't even know it was a thing when it all started. I'm like, why is this shiny? Yeah, every weapon is shiny when you put a shader on it. No, but it's shiny. Why is the background shiny? What's this?
Why, when I hold it up to my ear, do I hear the ocean?
It's just it's something new. I love it because it's easy content. It's just you can breeze through it. You don't have to do it on the hardest difficulty to get your light level up. You don't have to take it that seriously. And we always know it's a new season, new DLC, a new type of event. So there's going to be bugs. It's just enjoy it. That's the only thing I could say. Enjoy it. Just use the weapons you don't like it. Well, just feed it into your weapons that you do like. If the gear's not good enough, feed it into the gear you do like, and just keep going.
Yeah, look at that lovely holofoil tier 4 and go, this is garbage, but it's really pretty to look at.
Yeah, it's shiny.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm just happy to have an event where I'm getting tier 3, 4 drops from when it feels like I should not be getting these. I'm still getting tier 1 out of stuff. And again, is this because it's bugged or because it's again I've been playing this week thinking, man, if this has come out, like 3 months into this content, into Edge of Fate, and the big bugs were ironed out and things were in a good spot, like how overwhelmingly positive would this event be? I mean, there's still some stuff with the portal. There's still content that's not there. There might still be some issues on the highest tier. I'm at 450, and yes, you and your 11 other friends are all there, but the rest of us need to get there. So I understand that you're frustrated. Take a breath, step back. And when the rest of us are there, we can, Bungie will also fix all the bugs for you too. But it feels like just an overwhelmingly positive experience. That's how I've looked at it. I mean, I've played a bunch of just the stupid scorched mode, just to go get bounties done and just to earn gear drops. I've played, some solo ops, but mostly I live in the Fire Team Ops playlist because I just want to do things with people, even if it's people I don't know, just other, 2 other human beings running through this content, having a good time. I've listened to lots of podcasts this week, just hanging out in the Fire Team Ops playlist, earning drops of gear. And it's been fun to go, oh, wait, was that a tier 4 that dropped? Oh, is that a holofoil? Not, Donny has all the holofoils. I have a handful. I have a small collection. But it's just been nice to see the stuff dropping at the end going, ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, let's see how that is. Because, a lot of these weapons I still really haven't played with enough. Yeah, the new the new grenade launcher is wonderful. The bow is fun. There's so much new stuff there to drop still. Now, Bungie, if we could talk about the heavy drops, I need some heavy weapons. I know you like giving me swords every 10th run, but I do believe heavy weapons
I'll swap with you.
Well, I've been getting all swords, and every 10th run, I've gotten a trillion bows, SMGs, and a 500 billion grenade launchers, and just nothing in the heavy slot. Just, I mean, my light level is fine in that slot, but just I'm just not getting heavy drops by and large. They just, no matter what I'm doing, they're just not showing up. So, is it a bug? Is it just me? Who knows?
I think it's just you.
Yeah, it probably is just me, honestly. But it's just been nice just to play the game and hang out and go, ooh, this is the thing. Hey, there's tier 4s dropping. Hey, are they any good? Who knows? But it's just nice to have those higher level drops from just, I'm not doing, I don't think I've done any pinnacle content all week. I've just been hanging out in solo and fire team ops and just earning stuff. And Rift with Scorch Cannons is stupidly fun.
And
sometimes
works.
It's just
really surprised it worked.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just stupid if you get to the point where everyone is just, basically playing keep away from the Rift and no one can pick up the spark. Yeah, but it works and it's fun. And the fact that you can res each other, it actually adds a little bit of, strategy to this. And yeah, it works. Which when that comes up, I've had the most fun with that this week, honestly. Just running around with Scorch Cannons knowing I'm going to be just as bad as the rest of you because we all have the same gun. So we're going to see how this goes.
But are you two missing the Bonfire Bash? Do you think we needed something else as well to kind of distract people? I know it was it took more than a solo ops kind of time. It was more like 15 or 20 minutes investment. So maybe it should have gone in fireteam ops. But do you think we should have still had that as well? Or were you happy with what the kind of portal offered us?
Well, a bit of a rotation would have maybe been nice. So you go into it or after getting to a certain rank, or you get to a certain amount of those ops, and then you can go into a random firebomb bash or whatever it was called. Just give us something that might change it up or a chance to get it, and maybe then get better loot or have better or a bigger chance of getting higher tier weapons or gear. It just I like what they've done now, and I know it's definitely not what we're gonna get eventually, because the next time we're gonna get Solstice is gonna be different. But it's a start with the way that we're getting our gear and our weapons. But I do think it doesn't feel as much as an event anymore.
Yeah. It feels like we've put this on, but we put modifiers in the things that you're already playing, which maybe is partly the reason why some players are fatigued, because it's like, go and play the Pinnacle Ops, go and play the Solo Ops, go and play the Fireteam Ops, and just play the certain ones that we've said that you can get extra drops on, which is why maybe people are upset about that. They want to play a lot more other things than just have the Solstice stuff to drop. But then that is a little bit more varied than just playing the Bonfire Bash over and over again, which is, I believe that was the only way you were able to get the Solstice gear last time. There were a few times that you were able to get it in maybe Crucible, I think they put it in, but I could be wrong. I could be completely misremembering all of that. But yeah, it's. I think it should have had something just to give it something different for people to play just for like the 2 weeks. Because we're down to 2 weeks on it.
Yeah, something for the event. Yeah, I think it's a massive win that you do not have to play a particular thing. And I love again, again, Scorched is a patently silly game mode. Scorch is a very silly game mode, running around with Scorch Cannons. But I love that it was Scorched with 3 different game types. I love that it could be Clash, Control, or Rift. I love that it wasn't just play the same thing over time. And there was a PvP mode. I do agree. I wish there was sort of something, event specific, event particular, for Solstice. But I don't think it needed it. Like, I thought I would miss the Bonfire Bash to a degree. But it was just a no life, play this over and over again. It's basically the same thing every time. And you never knew if you were going to play with people just trying to speedrun it, or trying to get as many bosses as possible, or both. And I don't know, like I really just enjoyed going into the game and just sort of glancing, oh hey, those modifiers are there. I think the modifiers were a great way to handle it. Is this modifier there? Can you turn the modifier on? If you can, great. Now it's a Solstice event. You don't need to do anything particular. You don't have to have special armor on. The armor, honestly, is the biggest thing I've enjoyed out of this. Not having to like continue to swap out Solstice gear. I mean, I'm wearing some of it because it's the highest dropping armor I'm getting. But I like that it wasn't like, okay, figure out how to put on all the Solstice gear to earn any kind of currency to make this work. You could just run with whatever, and you're still earning. So you're still participating fully in Solstice, whether you're decked out head to toe in Solstice or going, yeah, no, I'm here. I'm just playing the game, just hanging out, having a good time. But I'm still earning Solstice by just participating. I'm here. You've walked in the tower and said, hey, I'm here for the celebration. I brought some punch. Now let's go.
Yeah. As I said, as an event, it's not bad. But also with what we've been doing since the beginning of Edge of Fate, it doesn't feel any much difference, or the difference between a normal solo op or fireteam op compared to the Solstice portal event. It's not too much difference, but also at the same time for new players, it's easier because you're doing the same only with a couple of different modifiers. So they're trying to bring in new players, and the veterans or the players that have been playing this game for God knows how long are the people are like, okay, but this is the same, doesn't feel anything as it's supposed to. It's nothing special. I'll get my tier 4 or tier 5 and then I just dip out and it's done.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see, has the Solstice had a little more longevity because it wasn't just I'm playing one activity until I can't possibly play it anymore, or until I've gotten my seal gilded or my title gilded and now I'm out. Like, I wonder, has this been a little more of a longer lasting event for people's engagement because it was just go play the game, go earn these currency, and you've given me something to do. Once you get all your armor set sort of unlocked and the ingots unlocked, whatever. I like that there's the little mini store of, hey, if you're going to continue to play, because how many events have you gotten to, and at the end of it gone, well, now I have 10,000 Solstice bucks left. What am I meant to do with any of this? I like that it's, now you can go continue to unlock reroll tokens, or go, there's something to do. There's a way to engage, to have this currency to then say, let me go buy more weapons. Let me go farm for, hey, I'm really trying to get that good grenade launcher drop that I want. Let me just shove all these into grenade launchers, see what happens. I like that's part of it, and then I've got a reason to use this currency that I'm continuing to earn by just playing the game.
Agreed. Yeah. It has more to it than it was, because it's no longer like, okay, I've done all the triumphs, I got the gear pieces, I got all the weapons, and now I'm done. There's more to do, because you can grind enhancement cores, bright dust, whatever you need. It's just, there's more to it than there was, but it's just not worked out, I think, as Bungie intended the events to be.
Yeah. I mean, again, I keep going back to, if the game was in the spot where they had gotten all the patches in place, and we were sort of in Edge of Fate, like, because I've heard mostly nothing but positive things about the event. People getting higher than normal drops, people getting the holofoil weapons, like, those feel good when they drop. It's exciting to see a tier 4 helmet drop, and you're sitting at 250, 270 light. I mean, I'm somewhere in like the 250 to 270 range. I don't remember exactly where, but and seeing that tier 4 helmet drop, it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, and I'm just running around playing fire team ops. Like, yeah, it's an event that the rewards feel rewarding, and you're not speed running Starcrossed. You're not no-lifing through solo. I mean, maybe you are, but like, you don't have to be. You can just show up and play the game, and the rewards feel good because the event's going on. Hey, the event's going on. Here's some higher drops. Great. Like, that's awesome. That feels good. That feels like it's worth my time to jump on and play these 2 weeks.
Do agree
Yeah.
with that though.
More events like this, please.
Definitely.
Bonfire Bash wouldn't have taken away from it, but it also isn't. It wasn't a requirement to make this event good.
No,
No, I think just additive.
we do need our Halloween event back as it was, with the
Mhm.
branches and the trees. We do want that back.
Let me hurt Chad. Let me go at him. Make him vulnerable to a point. Give me some mechanic I have to do to hurt him, but let me beat him up.
It's just we need that back. I like that better than running lost sectors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Just the
I'm
fact
curious.
that you could leave your fire team behind without saying anything, and he just breathing down their necks like, "Hi, I'm here now.
Turn around and oop, there he is.
I brought you a friend now."
Was there anything that you wanted to come on the show and discuss, Donny? Something that we've missed over the last couple of weeks that
The
you
nightmare
felt that...
fuels of Titans in PvP.
Oh, okay.
I
Ooh,
showed you the
cool.
video on Discord. That was just no.
What?
That's worse than laser tag weekend.
So those of us who are playing PvP purely for scorched reasons, what's going on in PvP?
Well,
How
the
is that
Titans
side of
now
the house?
have a very nice barricade, an arc barricade, and they can thunderclap right through that or around corners, and it's just I don't care with how many people you stand there. If it's 1v1, 1v3, 1v6, it doesn't matter. He just thunderclaps the whole team away. It's just the video was legitimately like, okay, here's Johnny, and the whole team was gone. And I've encountered it a couple of times in PvP, and I'm like, oh my god, I thought this was for a video's sake, but just everybody is running it. There are hunters working with, or hunters and warlocks working with those titans. They're legitimately just luring them in around corners, placing smoke grenades to place decoys so they don't know where the titan actually is, and just out of nowhere they run into a corner. The titan just peeks and just says boo, and everybody dies. It's
I think Donny's been really affected by us Titans.
yes. I feel violated for the first time ever in PvP.
Come around the corner. What's over there? We got Candy and Puppy. Just come over here. It's fine. Nothing,
just
nothing
here,
can go
yeah.
wrong. What could possibly go? Just come on over here, little boy. Come over here.
No.
So has anyone put out a build on this? Is there a video that's going round doing the rounds of this is what you need to do?
If I'm not wrong, Lucky 10p has dissected the whole build surrounding it and how you can use it correctly, even if you don't have any PvP experience. And then there are also content creators who are calling it the easy way to the lighthouse build. I'm like, okay, no.
I mean, it sounds like yes.
No, the only way to beat that is with a heavy weapon, and you don't start with heavy ammo. No.
Is it not just running Storm's Keep and Thunderclap and calling it a day, or is there more to it than that?
Well,
I guess the
basically, you just have to move around a couple of mods in your artifact and just as a Titan, I would say have fun. But if you're another class, just keep away from it. Just no. Therapy is way too expensive.
Stay at range. Stay way over there, over in the distance.
Yeah, just win or lose by timeout. Just don't go near corners. First it was peeking lanes for the snipers, and now it's just the corners are no. There's no other word for it than no.
Don't follow that hunter. Don't follow that warlock. They're just trying to lure you into a bad place.
Oh yes, bad it is. Oh, I've seen builds with one shot melees, but this was just I don't know who came up with it, but wow, Bungie needs to offer them a job because he knows how to make builds and he knows how to make sure that people don't do that again.
So PvP is going great.
Yes, especially for a Titan. So no matter what main you are, you just have to swap to a Titan for PvP. For PvE, it's usually, if you want to stay alive longer, be a Warlock or a Titan. So just scrap the whole Hunter, I think. Just put them in a different kind of place, give them their own cubicle, just note how many kills the Titan made in PvP, note how long the Warlock stayed alive in PvE, and just that's your job from now on.
And hunters are there too.
Yeah.
I now
It's
expect to hear
just
from all the hunters upset that we're telling them they are not worth playing anymore. You had the first 15 years. You get the first 15 years. Now you can take a break for a minute.
that's it. We're done. We can retire.
Yep, you're good.
We've done our job. I'm good now.
Mm-hmm. You killed enough gods and enough people in PvP. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, going invisible doesn't help either. So I've tried all of it. I even ran around with Telesto bolts. It just doesn't do anything to the Titan. It's just he slaps, he claps, and it's done.
Titan is now part Telesto. We have merged.
Oh, it's dominating. It's fun to see though. Don't get me wrong, because I saw the video first before it actually happened when I was in PvP, and actually just when I noticed that people were running Titans, I'm like, oh god, that's a Titan. Oh, he has the same exotic. Oh, he has the same build, and I'm like, okay, there we go again. It's gonna be one of those matches. It's just fun to see. It's just three Titans just sitting around corners. If one doesn't get him, the other one just lures him in, and just. They even just lure with fake barriers. When then they go, okay, he has a barrier here, so let's run away. Before you know it, you've been flanked from behind. You just walk around the corner, and there's another Titan.
I'm definitely gonna have to find that video then, and put that in the show notes. That's very funny.
The point contact can embrace, which I'm assuming is involved with this.
Is
a featured exotic this season. So that. I was like, oh, I bet that's a featured exotic, and that's part of why people are going, oh, I could run this. This would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of featured exotics, to do what really annoys me is that the one of the modifiers was to have all new gear. Now, I'm not being funny, but some of those exotics weren't new gear. They're existing gear. They just got the blue tick of approval on it. So I had to change my build just so I could run just one of these things that says, oh, you have to use that loadout. So I was a bit upset about that. Just saying.
Yep. This is the new gear that we're calling new versus the new gear that you already had.
Yeah, that's the cool gear for this season, and next season we have different ones.
Yep. Yeah. I've definitely been making use of the going in dim and just being like, is this featured? Show me what the featured things are, because I simply do not remember on the exotic side. One or two of them I know because I've seen them in every single game, every single day.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sometimes I'm like, is this featured? Can I use this? Is this quote unquote new? I still have yet to go to Ada to spend any of my 20 tokens on exotics because I'm still just, I don't know. I'm still not sure what I want to spend them on. And I mean, I'll do it at some point this season. I'm going, again, the Lorelei Splendor I slapped on because it dropped, and I'm running solar for this event. But after this event ends, what am I going to go back to? I don't know. Strand, Alpha Lupi, something. I'll probably throw it into Alpha Lupis because I just cannot get one to drop with the proper archetype I need.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm going to be looking at. Is kind of just swapping out one for one when I get to that point. I mean, I'm not at that point. Like you're not at that point to kind of just do that kind of thing. But yeah, it just really irks me that I can understand if it's an exotic piece that's been given to us for this episode or this episode season. So used to episodes and having to kind of run that. The blue tick of approval for exotics, like exotic armor pieces, I'm mainly kind of not really worried about the weapons, but to do that for that kind of modifier, it's really it's a pain because having to kind of okay, now I need to go and put a different exotic on because you're saying that doesn't count.
Yeah, they're exotics. They're supposed to be special compared to the legendary gear. I get what you mean.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of. It just really. It was just a real pain to kind of. Okay, well, I've either got to take off the exotic that I want to run with. I mean, I was running my strongholds, so I had my new sword on. I had all the new weapons on. I had a full set of gear that I'd had to go back and collect just to go and play that game mode because I'd just been infusing what I had with my weapons and my gear for existing ones. So I then had to kind of get some of the Solstice things to drop to then go back into it to then be able to play the modifier that they wanted to kind of level up my Guardian with the Guardian ranks. So it was like, okay, so I'll do that. But then, yeah, it was just really a pain to kind of have to take that exotic off and put something else on that they approved with their blue tick. I was like, no, it should be, exotics shouldn't be included in this kind of that modifier.
Yeah. Well, I do agree with that, because if you look at my hunter at the moment, I'm just too simple. I don't have any new gear. I have my exotic class item on me, and I don't have any bonus sets. I don't have anything above, well, I want to say above 130 or
Yeah.
even 120 with my gear stats. I'm going the way that I'm going. I'm just like, I might be just a veteran in this game who's being old and stubborn, if you look at it that way, but it works. And an exotic shouldn't be left out of play just because it is not with the archetype of this season.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely.
I've gone totally the other way armor wise. I am looking at my vault and honestly had the thought earlier this week of, should I just delete most
You keep
of this armor?
threatening to delete it.
I do keep threatening. I haven't done it yet because again I made enough room cleaning things out. Like I've got plenty of vault space. Like vault space is not the problem. I think I'm still at under around 400 spaces full. But I'm looking at this going, I haven't even, other than pulling exotic weapons out, haven't even considered pulling a single old weapon out, with the exception of the Gallahorn, because I said this week, this is a solar season. I have a Gallahorn. I could have fun with this. So I pulled that out. I've been running around with that for Solstice, but that's the only weapon, armor, anything I've pulled out of the vault. Really, I'm going, it's there, and I don't want to delete it yet because I don't want Bungie to turn around and like in 3 months go, oh hey, remember that whole thing we said about this not being new? We're going to undo all of that, and now this stuff that you deleted is useful again. So I'm sort of just like biding my time, but really, I've been balancing new weapons. I'm running all new gear. And I've just been really enjoying the armor set bonuses and really enjoying, just running around with totally embracing all the new stuff. Going, I have loads of old stuff. I've got loadouts for the old stuff, but the new stuff is just fun. I'm really enjoying the armor sets. I'm really enjoying my lovely little kinetic tremors auto rifle and just making things go burr with that and the tech sec armor and just embracing the new gear lifestyle and going, well, let's just see what this is. I've played for so long with the stuff I already have. Let me go all in on the new stuff and just see how that feels and see how that goes. And it's been good fun just playing with the new stuff. And again, I've been building into weapon in class and just going, I just want to stand here, throw my barricade a trillion times, and apparently I need to look into punching people in PvP. But mostly it's just been standing behind the barricade and then laying into 1,000 wyverns and vex and everything else. That's interesting that you're just like, yeah, there's new stuff. I reject modernity. Embrace tradition.
I don't
Everything I have is good.
Anyway, I just collect it to see if I can make a build eventually out of it. Or just for now, I'm just like I don't know if I want to put time and effort into making a build with all of those new weapons, new traits, new stats, and do I really want to run something with 200 class or weapon or whatever it is that's good at that moment? I don't know. I just try to balance, and if I do find something that I do like, I might just, if I have a gear piece, I might swap it out. But for now, I'm just like, let me see what it actually does before I put some time, effort, and material into it, because I have no idea how much material actually goes into it and how hard it will be to redo new gear with that.
Yeah. I think, it's the kind of, you're feeling your way through this kind of new destiny of like, well, I don't want to kind of rush ahead and kind of do that if it's a waste of time. I want to kind of just be able to do what I want to do and then slowly get to the point where, okay, maybe we do need to swap out all of this armor for this new system.
Yeah.
But I will do it as and when I can kind of get to it. Yeah, I get where you're coming from because that's how I'm kind of doing it at the moment. But the other thing I was going to say about the Solstice is that the issue that we were having the other week, where you go into fireteam ops and it's not match made. It's fantastic to go into the fireteam ops and actually have 3 or 4 kind of ops to play that are match made. And I was like, this is amazing because it's all part of the Solstice thing. Why can't they do that normally? Why can it not just be these are the set ones? I know you can play the ones along the top, which are all fire team on, but the ones in the just the regular selection that have got Solstice added extras in there, you can play matchmade, which is really cool.
It is fun what they've done, but it's for some people it's just, well, a lot of people are just like, I want to click, I want to play, I want to shoot the weapon and just have fun. It's just we're too simple. We know what fun is, or what fun was and used to be. So we are wired that way that if we press this button, we have laughs and we find this. And if we go into PvP these days, there's Titans clapping around the corners. We know that now, so we know to not do that and do this. It's just, it's how it is. And to be honest, did we actually read everything Bungie said about the changes? We just went in and was like,
we did. We read it. Did we take it in? Is another question.
Well, and the things, and how much of the things that we read are actually reflected in reality in the game, which is even a smaller percentage of what we read versus what's actually happening. Looking at all of the numbers, not numbering. So yeah, we read many things. As it turns out, some of the words told us things that didn't happen. Some of the words were missing other words. Some of the words were just wrong entirely.
Well, speaking of words, should we tell people some words and tell them what's in the game, what they've changed in the game and stuff like that? Maybe.
Did they change, or are we just guessing what they changed?
They've changed things. There's been an update. There's been a TWID. So there's things like that.
I mean, they've published a large list of things they said changed.
Yes,
now,
I will tell you the things. I will tell you.
Did they really? You know, sort of.
Okay, I will tell you the things they fixed. So we've got Destiny 2 update 9.0.0.6, where they fixed some things. So the portal training tiers are now disabled for players upon reaching 200 power. Modify reloading in solo and fireteam ops is now possible after reaching power 200, even if the training tiers were never completed. I did like those training tiers. I didn't realize they were there for quite some time, and then I went through them and I was like, oh, okay, so this is helping me progress my Guardian rank. I was like, if I put this on and I do this thing where it tells me do these 7 different kind of things. Okay, so I was slowly getting some of the earlier boxes ticked in my Guardian ranks, which was, I found it helpful as a veteran Guardian.
If I had known they existed before I was at 200, I probably also would have found it helpful, but I was one of those didn't even know the training tiers were there until...
No, it was something I discovered
Blue, or someone
accident.
was like, hey, have you done your 7 training tiers? I'm like, the what now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm a Destiny player. I go in and I select the hardest difficulty of the thing I'm doing, you know, at least to a point. Not, I'm not starting at 10. He's like, you should do 10. There's 7 of those. You should do those. So
yes.
Good that they've removed them, but it would have been nice to like start you there and say, hey, welcome to the game.
Well, they do.
You're going to do the training.
You can bypass it very easily. I think that's the thing. Is that you can just go, I want to do this, and I click the buttons, and that kind of disappears.
Yeah,
it
would have been
so
nice
good
to
hidden
sort of
that I just heard it for the first time, to be honest. That was a training tier?
Yeah, it was literally the first tier. And in the training section, it went, I think it goes training, then it goes something else. Hang on a second, I could probably actually have a look in the game.
Yeah,
I just went on the missions in the legendary and that's it.
Yeah, so when you go into your customization, it went training, normal, advanced, expert, master, grandmaster, and then ultimate. But yeah, it was really weird that you normally gravitate towards normal if you just want to kind of play the game and have fun.
Yeah, you're just like, I want to do some of these. Yeah. Because I think the light was basically like, because I think training was 10, and then it was like 100 light, 200 light, 300, 4 and 5, and then the 2 I basically ignored. But yeah, it would have been nice if they just said like, you will do training. This will get everybody to Guardian rank, whatever. And maybe that's
it will help you tick off some of the boxes. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that was my moan about Arms Week going, well, I couldn't spend some of my Arms Week currency because I wasn't at Guardian rank 5 yet. Maybe if I had done my training tiers, I would have been there. Because I did like 1, which I assume is where it dumped me at some point, and then I simply never went back to it because I didn't really know it existed. Yeah, it would have been nice if they just said like, sort of put you through the training and if for no other reason to get you those Guardian ranks and say, we're going to make you Guardian rank 4 or 5 or wherever it put you by doing this training first. Not because you need the training necessarily, but
Well, you
put
need the
everybody
training.
But yeah, it's like you put everybody through that, and now you've removed it entirely. Okay, so the training wasn't that important overall.
Well, everybody's
anyway.
past training, I guess.
Yeah.
We are now.
They fixed more issues. So they fixed an issue where the reward multiplier in the reward forecast and in the activity completion post-game carnage report were not correct in different directions, apparently, when under fighting power unless a loadout change mid-activity. And then they fixed an issue where players could not reconnect in Grandmaster Portal activities if they were disconnected. Fixed an issue where players at exactly 450 power who received a grade A score would not receive no score rewards. So you now get score rewards. Trials, they fixed some things in there. Fixed an issue where Trial by Firing Squad seasonal challenge was not rewarding Trials gear when claimed. Fixed an issue where Lighthouse chests rewards were sometimes giving lower tier gear than expected. Fixed an issue where the Trials Gilding Triumph were not counting medal progression. Fixed an issue where the efficiency display was displaying incorrect stats on the scoreboard for Trials. And fixed an issue where special ammo was being refreshed each round in Trials. Crucible Ops, they fixed an issue where bonus focusing rewards would sometimes not drop. Fixed an issue where the featured rewards would sometimes not drop. Updated competitive weapon drop chance to now trigger on activity completion instead of victory. That's a good change. Updated additional reward changes to now be earned by all players instead of one per team, one player on each team. That sounds like old Destiny 1 code. That was like, you're going to get...
Yep.
You the only person out the whole lobby is going to get the exotic.
The rest of you, no thank you. You participated. Good job.
Yeah. They've increased the gear tier earned by B+ grade at reward ranks bronze and silver. C+ and B- thresholds have now been lowered for a reward rank copper and bronze. This improves the chances that players will receive bonus drops and bonus focus drop. Vanguard, they fixed an issue where the daily Nightfall playlist activity would sometimes not be available. Raids and Dungeons, reduced the incoming strand grenade damage on Atheon in Vault of Glass. Fixed an issue where some players could not access specific dungeons after picking up their associated quest. And fixed an issue where the something buff, debuff, the decoherence, yeah. Imminent debuff in the Desert Perpetual would sometimes disappear. It was very there was that word.
Decoherent.
It was that. That they've restored the director's vibrancy to its pre 9.0.9 visuals with additional minor aesthetic enhancements to complement the post final shape layout changes. So they've done that. They've made it brighter. Titans. Wishful Ignorance reduced the maximum damage bonus in PvE activities from 200 to 120. So you can still flesh out Storm because apparently Lucky Tempe and Cheese Forever still say that you can after this patch. Warlocks, Verity's Brow and Spirit of Verity updated to give Strand Grapple Melee additional damage increase instead of a multiplicative one. Increased the maximum Grapple Melee damage bonus from 100 to 170. Armor mods, they fixed an issue where some ammo generation chests were not working in Crucible. Fixed an issue where tuning mods were not properly saved to loadouts. Bows, they fixed the issue where the Fortunate Star had the wrong intrinsic perk of precision when it was intended to be a lightweight intrinsic, so that's now fixed. This bow was built to be a lightweight with those animations, visuals, and stat perk combinations. Players should see this update on their previously acquired versions of the weapon. And they fixed an issue where the Fortunate Star, when dropping at gear level 2 or higher, would drop with non-enhanced versions of Eye of the Storm. So that's now been fixed. It's now enhanced. Players should see the perk become enhanced on previous acquired versions of that weapon that were gear tier 2 and higher. Hand cannons, they fixed an issue where the Aureus Neutralizer Trial Spreadshot hand cannon had the lower than expected stat package. Fixed an issue where the Futrina Ferra Zoom, that's the other hand cannon that we got from Arms Week, was set to 14 instead of 12, and the hipfire reticle was displaying when aiming down sights. Vigilance Wing, that's been corrected. They fixed an issue where the weapon was not correctly improving health recovery when Last Stand was activated. Now grants plus 100 health stat when the perk is active. Dead Messenger. They've reduced the wave damage against players so it can no longer kill in a single shot if all 3 waves impact.
I assume
Weapon
it was
perks.
also then turned back on for PvP.
Shush. No, they've reduced it. Shush. Burning Ambition. Reduced the scorch stats applied by primary ammo weapons to already scorched players by 6. Unchanged against combatants. Enhanced 1-2 Punch. Fixed an issue where the buff text was not displaying when the perk was active on primary weapon ammo. When was active on primary ammo weapons. Abilities. They've touched some of those. Default player movement speed and jump height is now equal to pre 9.0.0 tier 3 mobility for Titans and Warlocks and tier 4 mobility for Hunters. So that was before we had the Edge of Fate. Kepler, final blows while in Matable now grants special and heavy ammo progression. Solstice fixed an issue where the solar flare orb had no HUD melee icon. Fixed an issue where the Solstice Scorch Crucible ops matches were not progressing the first steps of the Celebrating Solstice quest. So they fixed it just in time. Flechette Storm fixed an issue where the Flechette Storm could be used indefinitely when holding the Solstice Solar Flare Orb. Hunters, Tempest Strike, damage now correctly procs combination blows. Warlocks, Handheld Supernova, increased damage versus combatants by 20%. They've updated the seasonal artifact Shield Crush to give Strand, Grapple, Melee an additional damage increase instead of a multiplicative one. Quests and Pursuits. They fixed an issue where some players could not restart the Altar Relativity after performing the Rites of Ignition for Step 11 of the Edge of Fate quest. And they fixed an issue with the Portal's body counting daily challenge was not progressing faster with the Guardian kills. In general, they fixed an issue where the Tier 5 Giver's Blessing from the Altar of Relativity required completing the more triumphs than were available in the Kepler title. Note the title only requires 24 of the 29 triumphs, but this weapon required all 29. I say get your finger out, get all 29 and get it done. Reduce the frequency of the Eververse messaging appearing when logging in or returning to orbit. Music will now play as expected when multiple Guardians interact with the Life of the Party multiplayer emote.
You can't be the life of the party with no music.
You need music for your party.
No, it's a silent disco.
It is now.
But we're not stopping there. We have more information to tell the people. And unfortunately, Donny has not put his Warlock hat on this week. He wants to be his Hunter. He doesn't want to be a Warlock.
No.
Well, he's just waiting for all the Warlock changes to come, that's all. He's just waiting for the Warlocks to get all the buffs they need.
Is it buffs or is it debuffs?
Will it make me more useful than an Hunter?
What they're going to tell us and what's going to happen could be different, but I think they're saying good things.
Oh, okay. So this week in Destiny, or the TWAB, for the 14th of August, Solstice Last Call. By the time we've heard this podcast, it's going to be over. Let's face it, it's over and done with. We raved about it last week. We've dissected it this week and said we really still enjoyed it. It was amazing. Should have played it. It was here. Unfortunately, only for 2 weeks. So what can we do apart from complain we need it for 3 weeks, Bungie? Go back to 3 weeks. Because Christmas, I can see this is going to be happening again. When you turn up with the dawning and you say you've got to bake all these cookies and you've only got 2 weeks to do it in, and it's at Christmas, I'm like, Bungie, help me. Come on, just Christmas. It's already a packed time. I need 3 weeks. Even 4. Give me the whole of December. I need to bake cookies every single day. Anyway.
Correct. Yeah.
Warlocks. We've got some changes.
Whole tuning preview. They're going to tune the Warlocks. They're going to take them to the shop, tune them up. They're Warlocks. I feel like, the Warlocks have a history of being either really good or really bad and just going wildly between the two. So Bungie's going to make a lot of changes to Warlocks. So they're going to look at the abilities and say, the Empowering Rift class ability, standing in the Empowering Rift now generates grenade, melee, and class energy over time. Final blows while standing in the Empowering Rift will now generate special and heavy ammo progress. Yeah, those are the words.
Yeah.
Weave Walk, the strand aspect. Exiting your Weave Walk will now grant you Wova Mail for you and your nearby allies. Wova Mail duration is relative to the time spent in Weave Walk. Increased horizontal movement on enter and exit, and increased fragment slots from 2 to 3. Sounds good, like good stuff. Weaver's Call, both your strand and your prismatic aspect, now generates roosted threadling progress when giving damage of any type. Threadling damage now returns class ability energy and works on all threadling damage while this aspect is equipped. Your Frost Pulse, your stasis aspect. freezing enemies will now generate class energy ability, working on all stasis freezes while the aspect is equipped. I guess it was only working on some before. Pocket Singularity, your Void and your Prismatic Melee, in addition to the change 19 and Just Red that we got this week of, I think, a 20% boost. It's now going to have 2 charges at base. Excellent. Projectile lifetime increases from 1.1 to 2 whole seconds. Rework projectile tracking to favor target closest to the initial trajectory. Reduced detonation knockback on players by 50%. Your exotic armor, your new Eunoia, increase projectile damage at max range from 15 to 20%. They tune the distance to damage curve to make the maximum damage distance easier to identify. Increase projectile tracking by about 40%. And in addition to the primary projectile, the sub-projectiles now benefit from the Ember of Ashes and Ember of Eruption. So, hopefully good things. Something solar things that make things burn better. But don't worry, it doesn't stop there, because we're also getting some ability tuning. Threadlings increase damage versus combatants by 20%. So wait, did they say when this was happening?
Well, they say that it's
Ash and Iron.
Ash and Iron, yeah. It's
okay,
it's
yeah.
so that was all.
Update. Yeah, so that was all coming in Ash and Iron in the 9.1.0 update in early September. So
that's September 9th, I believe. Was that that's the date, isn't it? Because September 2nd is when we're getting Heavy Metal again, and then the week after is the Ash and Iron, which is the major update, mid-season kind of update. That hopefully we will get the refreshes to the portal. Touch wood, touch something.
Yeah, so about 3 weeks. About 3 weeks from as you hear this. But then we have upcoming fixes. So a few weeks ago we examined the feedback and bug reports on a couple of, notable Warlock exotics. We want to provide a brief update for some of these investigations. We've already updated a few in recent patch notes, so these represent the remaining upcoming changes. So the things they've already fixed, they already told you about, and thus we already told you about. What they are planning to fix, though, is the Starfire Protocol. We've confirmed the issue where the Starfire Protocol was not returning as much energy as expected on empowered hits. They fixed this issue, raising it to the intended 5%, and that fix will be coming in the 9.007 update. So I presume coming here on Tuesday, basically as you hear this, or the next day as you hear this. Your Crown of Tempest, they're continuing to investigate where the Crown of Tempest no longer grants stacks on multi-kills. They're aiming to have a fix when Renegades goes live, so a little further out for that one. Your Rhymecoat Raiment, continuing to investigate where Rhymecoat Raiment generated stasis crystals inconsistently applied Devour when Feed the Void is active. We're honing in on a fix and hope to have it for again when Renegades goes live. For Boots of the Assembler, they've confirmed the issue where the Noble Rounds won't work on a teammate that enters the Warlock Rift. A fix will be deployed during the 9.1.0 major update for Ash and Iron, so that'll be fixed sooner. Your Wings of Sacred Dawn. After investigating reports around Wings of Sacred Dawn, we've concluded that we missed a patch note with the Edge of Fate's release. It's intended that Wings for no longer to reload your equipped weapon, as this led to some problematic behavior around single-shot magazine weapons such as bows. So apparently it is intended for it to no longer reload your equipped weapon for Wings of Sacred Dawn, which I know I've seen conversation about, but I have not been following. But yeah, apparently that's the way it's meant to work, so that's not going to get fixed. Sorry, Warlocks. For Controverse Hold, we've received reports that this doesn't return energy as expected, and after investigation, we believe this to be true, specifically with some combatants in the firing range only. We'll be looking at the updating the firing range in a future update. So they're saying Controverse Hold's working in the world, but not in the firing range specifically. So they're going to update the firing range and should be working in the game, presumably. And finally, Nezarec, very sinful. Nezarec Sin. We saw reports that the regeneration buff no longer working during multi-kill streaks. And we believe this may have been resolved in the 9.005 sprint fix along with the sprint bug, but they're keeping an eye on it for future reports. So Nezarec Sin should be working now as of 2 weeks ago. But if you're still seeing issues, as with all these, if you're seeing issues, hey, take clips, screenshots, whatever, send them to Bungie and say, hey, here's the thing I'm seeing that's broken, and here's some visual evidence, because it's way easier for them to look at things and go, yep, we see this looks like a bug. Then they can dig into the data and go, okay, which match was this? Let's get some more information. In the coming weeks, they plan to communicate more about the future of class fantasies. What is it to be a warlock? What are some fantasies that are hitting right now, and where do the classes need more work? And they're excited to share what else they're cooking, so stay tuned for more. So yeah, lots of warlock changes coming, presumably good. So Donny, any of those make you happy? Any of those sound good? Turning you into a warlock PvP main so you can help lure people into the Titan's punch of death.
Oh, I don't know. It makes me feel obsolete as a hunter. All the changes. Just, I know that the Warlocks have had a hard season this. Well, they say they had a hard season so far, but I get that if some builds or exotics or perks are not working, they are meant to be fixed. But that's a lot of changes. But no, still no Warlock. I will be running around as a headless, clapped around pink hunter, so yeah.
So is that why the Warlocks have fallen in league with the Titans, luring hunters to their death in PvP?
Yeah, so they can just make sure they no longer play any role in any part of this universe. But was it really that bad, you think, for the Warlocks? Because that's like a lot, like a major amount of changes, though.
It sure seems like it. And I know there's been, I mean, there's obviously just more out there. And also there's another major bug that was found this week that affects Warlocks and Titan supers, which we'll get to in a little bit. But right now we have Crucible power and rewards. So they talked about some of the changes they're working on to continue to improve the level of rewards and progression across the game. One of the areas called out was Crucible Ops. They want to feel more rewarding and better to progress through the power bands. So earlier this week when they shipped update 9006, they put the handful of changes that Demon told you about, which should hopefully start to meet those goals. But they have some more changes coming in update 910, which is our Ash and Iron update, so early September, where we're going to make it more rewarding for all players, along with targeted adjustments for early power bands. So we're going to increase the bonus drop frequency when playing Crucible Ops, increase the amount of score earned. Increase the amount of score earned on losses. For some reason, I read that, my brain just shorted out. Yeah. You're gonna get more for losing. It'll feel a little less punishing. Retuning score threshold on all grades at reward ranks Copper and Bronze, which is power 10 to 300, to make earning higher power gear and gear tier more consistent. So increasing the highest potential gear tier for rank Copper, Bronze, and Silver, so that's your 10 to 400 power, and increasing power adjusters for PvP, which is 10 to 300 light levels. So yeah, basically, anything below 400, they're going to make it a little more encouraging to play Crucible. Get in there, earn some things. Good source of drops. I've been playing a decent amount of Crucible, and honestly, haven't really paid any attention to what was dropping, just because it all, again, in mid 200s, it all feels better. It all feels like make number go up. Even the Gambit matches I've jumped into and played a few of are just giving me, a higher light level, even if it's just 1 or 2 points. So, but that's good that if you are trying to, Bungie did make a point of saying, hey, you can progress through this game. You're basically purely playing Crucible. You probably want to do the campaign at some point, but also just if you want to live in Crucible Ops and live in the PvP playlist, you should be able to do that. So making it a little more rewarding and just feeling a little more consistent is consistent with that, promise they made of, you can power level purely through Crucible if you want to.
Yeah.
And then
so they did keep their words.
Yeah, it's a little bit late though, isn't it? Because I think people probably would have preferred that when we first started.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's true.
One day we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when did Edge of Fate release? Like what week are we in now? Has it been a full month?
It's week 5.
Okay.
We're in currently. So yeah, week 6 is next week.
Yeah. So barely a month after this drops. So yeah, I mean it's quick, but yeah, it would have been nice if some of that was just a little quicker on the little quicker available. But again, like they say, they push changes to like every system in the game, and they did say we're going to be watching these. So it's good that they're watching. Yeah, hopefully just a little quicker on the trigger. Which, as we always say, just come to the game a little later, and you'll have all these fixes in place, and you'll have a great experience with it. But what you don't have is flat rate shipping, because that ends August 19th, and by this point you've probably missed it. And if you weren't in the US, UK, or EU, you've already missed it because you couldn't get it. So you've either ordered your things or you haven't. and you've either given Bungie your money for the Ronald McDonald House charities, or you haven't. You've either helped people get that private room for rest and recovery, home-cooked meals, and a full-stock pantry, laundry facilities, toiletries and essentials, therapy dogs, and emotional support programs, built-in community that understands, for all of the terrible things where if you've got a child receiving critical medical care, the Bungie Foundation has partnered with the Ronald McDonald House charities to help support that work. So you've either donated your $25 to get your beautiful tartan tribute emblem. You've got until the end of August to make that happen. So the 28th of August at 11:59 Pacific to make that donation. You can grab your lovely tartan emblem to wander around with your warlock in your pajamas. Or not. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. But that's available. As many people pointed out to me, I could have more pajama-themed things, which is tempting. You know what we also have? You'll never guess what's next.
Donny, it's your turn.
It's my turn?
No, it's Peroty's turn. He just wants to get out of reading it. Every week I have to guess and pretend that I don't know what's coming.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
What is coming?
The player support report, of course. Demon told us about all the things that were fixed. Now I'm going to tell you about all the things that are broken. So Solstice rewards.
Titans.
Yeah, Titans broken just across the board for now and forever. Also, hey, before Solstice ends on Tuesday, which again, if you're hearing my voice now, it may be too late, but hopefully you've upgraded your lustrous armor and you've gotten all the glows. You grabbed your rank rewards. Remember, there's the Solstice bar. Make sure you go to the Solstice bar and grab all the things out of there. Spend all your event tokens if you're able to.
Solstice bucks, yeah.
Yep, buy new weapon rolls, get all the Solstice things, because after Solstice ends, it will be no longer possible to use or claim these items. Now, will you still have the currencies? Unclear. But you won't be able to spend them on anything, so you'll have to hold them until next year. In your little coin purse, it'll jingle as you run around. So, a small volume of players are unable to integrate the Strangelit capsules and progress the Age of Fate campaigns. They're targeting a fix for that 9007, so if you're one of those people, hopefully come Tuesday that'll work for you. The culmination challenge for reclamation currently requires one more completed challenge than is available before the reclamation ends on September 9th, revising the target count down to ensure it can be completed before Ash and Iron ships and a new round of challenges begins. The issue currently blocks players from being able to complete the culmination challenge for reclamation. Target still fixed in 9007, which we have both in sentence and in bullet point form, depending how you like to receive your information. The class item stat is scaling in increments instead of per point. That's what we sort of talked about last week, and it should be going up, from 10 to 11 to 12 to 13. It's just going 10, 20, 30, 40 like it used to. They're aware and are working on a fix. The combatant difficulty in the Malfeasance quest version of the Corrupted Strike is incorrect. I'm going to assume it's harder than it should be, not easier, but yeah, it's one or the other. The slow and small challenge modifier is causing persistent audio to be present in activities. So small, slow, and loud, apparently. The Kepler weapon missions are incorrectly displaying that they will always reward Kepler gear. So apparently they will not. And the photovoltaic set bonus from the Lustrous set will loop its activation audio continuously while active. That's fun. So yeah, some audio bugs and, also Warlock fixes. And do we have? So there are links to art and movies, but I can't see them in the TWAB because the links didn't link. But there's something from Twitter and something from YouTube, and it's there, and you can go enjoy them or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There were a couple other. Yeah, so there apparently people on Reddit noticed that hey Bungie, there's been yet another stealth nerf. Bubbles now take 2,700% increased damage from bosses. Ooh. Resilience, aka health, seems to have no impact on bubble health. Well of Radiance is similarly affected, only LOL, taking 500% increased damage from bosses. Destiny 2 team replies, "Hey there, thanks for bringing our awareness to this bug. This was an unintentional oversight on our part. Prior to the 900 update, a Titan's bubble resistance and Warlock's well resistance were tied to, you guessed it, the character's resilience stat. But as that stat was removed and nothing replaced it, the bubble and well now have a 0 stat for resistance. We're working to get this corrected soon. So if your bubble and your will has been destroyed, that's why. It's using a stat that no longer exists, but they're aware of it and going to work on a fix for that." So, I guess they push sort of a partial mobility stat fix for where we basically all had zeros and now should have 30s and 40s. The bad news is now that the armor mods are not working as Bungie intended. The first enhanced athletic mod slot will grant you about 20 mobility instead of 30. The second one seems to grant about 15. The value landed in between the old system tiers. And going on that estimation, I believe the last mod will grant 5, but it's hard to tell. And someone on again Reddit reporting, hey, this doesn't seem to be working as it should be. And Bungie basically replied and said, yeah, we're aware and we're looking at the mobility issues. And apparently they're also on Blue Sky and whatever Destiny 2 team said, we're investigating an issue where the Crucible matches are not consistently rewarding tier 5 gear once players have reached 450. This is an unintentional side effect of fixing an issue where sometimes the loot would not drop at all. So now you get some loot instead of no loot, but still not, what they would like. And I think everything else they talked about was covered in the TWAB this week. Due to an issue, the cross-counter perk on Liar's Handshake can activate from all damage sources, so they've turned that off in the Crucible for Hunters. So Hunters, you have to legit handshake, no more liar handshaking in Crucible.
Yeah, no more lying. That's it.
Yeah, they've disabled lying in Crucible. And I didn't see where they said anything about Dead Messenger being re-enabled now that it's been patched. So maybe it's re-enabled in Crucible, maybe not. Don't know. You have to use it and find out. And then they've sent out a new wave of cheat detections being rolled out and a new wave of bans. So if you've been seeing someone moaning about being banned, they were naughty and shouldn't have been doing those things they were doing. But as we've all played this week, we haven't been banned. So good job not getting banned. Playing the game as you should. So now Donny's going to take us all flawless in trials, right?
Yes, I will. I will be a Titan then.
So you be the Titan. I'll lower them to our corner, and then you just hit them when they get here. It's a perfect plan.
Just peekaboo and win the game.
How can it go wrong?
It won't. I'm a Titan now.
Yeah. See, good to go. So Demon, what have you watched this week that other people should watch on the YouTubes?
Lots of things.
On the Twitters, on the Instagrams. Tell us what you scrolled and what we should be watching. What good videos are out there? And Donny, obviously you too, if you have any, but I know Demon's got some. I know he's got a list.
So I have watched a lot of Cheese Forever this week. So some of the things that Cheese, like we said, puts out are kind of patched within a couple of hours and some aren't. I think the Stronghold build that he's put together with the new sword, the Aura Dawn, it's only a 3-minute long video, but he shows you, I think it was in a Grandmaster, how well this sword kind of protects you and what it's kind of actually doing because it's one of these new swords and it has the cross counter perk on there. So with the cross counter perk, blocking damage after raising your guard emits a short range blast that disorientates targets. Ammo reserves are increased. And because it's a new sword and you can get it enhanced and some of the cool perks on there, he was like guarding through this kind of GM and it was like, because it's a stasis sword, it was kind of freezing some of the kind of the bosses and things. So it was really cool. So I was using last season's sword, which I can't remember the name of it, but it had strand. And every time I kind of blocked, it would then kind of it would disorientate players. But then if I killed them, the other perk that I had on there was the little strandling things. So I had loads of these little strandling things running around. Everyone was kind of debuffed. So it was really cool. So at the moment, you can kind of get the Aura Dawn with some of the cool freezing perks on there as well. So you can block and then you can freeze and then you can freeze like about 10 targets around you. So Cheese has got a cool video for that. The cool guy this week has gone over the Fortunate Star, the ultimate bow that prints ammo. And he goes over the perks you kind of want for it. There's quite a few different combinations. I mean, some of them are the ones that you kind of always look at for a void item these days with the destabilizing and whatever it was, the destabilizing
repulsor brace.
That's the one. Or it's got an arrowhead break, not an arrowhead break. It's got a firefly and an explosive head combination as well. So there are some really cool combinations that you can kind of get. But he's done a video going over that bow. So if you did get some, do what I've been doing. Just hoard them until you can actually sit down and look at a video and go, right, I've got this combination. This is the one I want to kind of keep. So hopefully this gets to people or people have seen it. So that would be cool. Mactix did a really good build this week for the Warlocks, one-shotting everything, but it's not the exotic that you think it should be. I think it was that he said it's not the Controverse hold that you want to kind of get. It's the Verity's Brow. So the 4th magic weapon, final blows boost your grenade damage, and he's got the cool new like ornament for it. So it's kind of the little electric eye things that move up and down. So that was was it a new one? Or was it? Yeah, it looks like it's a new one. Yeah. It was the one that they said that they were going to add to it. So he's got this one-shot build for Warlocks. Is really cool. Aztecross did an updated test for all exotic weapon changes pre and post Edge of Fate. So if you're interested in certain exotics, he's got Bastion, Monte Carlo, Winterbite, Vigilance Win, Hierarchy of Needs, Dead Man's Tale, Duality, the Navigator, Wicked Implement, Heart Shadow, World Line Zero, Devil's Ruin, and Tommy's Matchbook. So those are the ones that he kind of goes over pre and post Edge of Fate with updated testing and tells you which ones are good. And Devil's Ruin, apparently, everyone's been kind of raving about that one. And then I saw a 21-second video by JB3, who hasn't really made that many videos recently. Every now and then you see a JB3, and then sometimes Cheese will kind of break it down or do his version of it, because they're kind of all in that group of we go and do silly things. And it's just titled The Driving Range. And it's this poor little ogre that's somehow made his way into the tower, and he's standing on this netting, and you can do your finishes on him and just send him flying off into the distance. It's only 21 seconds, so it's worth a watch just for fun. Kodak has this build turns Gunpowder Gamble into nukes. So this is a prismatic build for the hunters using the exotic class item. And I can't remember the 2 perks because I did watch it, but I didn't write all the notes on it because I was watching it as I was doing something else at the same time. So it's a really cool build in PvE for just creating so much damage output and survivability as well. So that one's really cool.
I think that was with the Synthesteps and Synthestep. It was either Caliban or Liar's Handshake. One of the other was to do a lot more damage.
Innermost Light and Spirit of Verity.
Innermost Light. Okay, yeah.
That's the one. So I've just had a quick look. So yeah, those are the 2 perks. So I was like, I'm going to have to go to Xur and see if I can just throw some Xur bucks at him to see if I can get that roll, because I really want to try this build out because it looks really cool. Then I've got Fallout Plays. You don't realise how strong this new weapon mod is. And now this is the volatile ones that are only available for this season. So up until the end of, I think it's December, isn't it? Yeah. So we've got like Temporal Loader, we've got Temporal Tracker, Temporal Adapter, Temporal Armaments, but the one that Fallout's talking about is Temporal Blast. So this weapon stores a portion of its damage dealt in charges. At 5 charges, the weapon's next shot creates an explosion blast on impact that damages nearby combatants. So it's basically free damage. You damage players, you damage enemies, and then on the 5th charge, it just does extra amount of damage. So it's worth kind of putting into your kind of weapons just for funsies. And then I've got That Unknown has the Lionfish 4FR God Roll. It's a new must-have fusion rifle. He's got a God Roll guide for that. So that's my videos for my recommendations this week. Going to be chasing some Lionfish. I'm going to be building a hunter build with 400% damage if I can get the perks to drop. And I'm also going to be one-shotting everything with my new Warlock build, obviously.
Beautiful. Your new, better, and improved Warlock.
Exactly. You guys, have you got anything?
I don't think so. I haven't watched a lot of YouTube this week. I was just looking at my list going, no, that was none of that's Destiny related.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, Plunder brought out a couple, but that's just builds that have been revamped from builds we had before.
That's evergreen. We tell basically Cheese Forever, Plunder, Mactix. Just Astrocross. Go look at them every week. They always have more things.
Yeah, and then if you have time, I would say buy for his lore, but that's just what almost everybody already does, I think.
Except for 2 people that we won't name.
We won't name and shame them. No, we don't name and shame them.
There are 2 people who sometimes do lore. Who should do more lore? Maybe.
We're giving them a
Especially when
buy.
requested with a certain weapon.
Yeah, we're giving them a buy until we get to September because I know Arth will probably be busy with the kids like I am at the moment. And Noble's got no excuse, but apart from that, he wants Arth to hold his hand. So
when we get the Arf and Iron update, we'll be all set, is what you're saying.
yeah, the Arth and Iron update. Yeah. But something I haven't kind of told everybody, all the different things, because I haven't told anybody this week in Destiny for the rotations that are coming up this upcoming week, because I completely forgot to put that in somewhere in the show. So I've now got to tell them after the videos. I love the way that we kind of do a little scavenger hunt for how this podcast kind of lays out in the end.
Yeah.
Some things are kind of just, there's always a beginning and there's always an end. And somewhere in the middle are other things that we talk about. Sometimes we start with this one. Sometimes we start with that one. It's just...
Yeah. There will be a middle. It will have things in it.
Yeah.
They will usually contain all the things it should, but there's no telling when or where or who or how.
This is your weekly rundown for the Edge of Fate, week 6, starting on August 19th. Starting off over in the Crucible Ups this week will be competitive, control, and a variant of Cutting Edge. Trials of Osiris returns at the weekend on August 22nd, with other non-featured modes found over in the Crucible Director. In the solo ops we have Skywatch, the Salt Mines, the Conflux, Creation, K1 Logistics, and Caldera. In the fireteam ops we have the Strikes of Liminality, the Devil's Lair, Proving Grounds, Inverted Spire, and the Glassway. Battlegrounds Oracle, Foothold, Delve, and Conduit, Empire Hunts the Warrior, Technocrat, and Dark Priestess, Savathun Spire Offensive, Onslaught Widow's Court, and Midtown with the Coil. And in Pinnacle Ops this week, Exotic Missions Starcross, with the Wishkeeper Bow being the main reward, and the Season the Wish weapon set, the Whisper, with the Whisper of the Worm Exotic Sniper being the main reward, Kel's Fall, with the Slayer's Fang Exotic Shotgun being the main reward, and Encore, with the Choir of One Auto Rifle being the main reward. On Kepler, Featured Mission 1 this week will be Quarantine, and Featured Mission 2 will be Message. This week's challenges are Lone Wolf, Best Served Cold, Stranded, Absolutely Stunning, and Power Trip. As a reminder, a one-time offer of 200 unstable cores are available to all players, due to an issue during the Edge of Fate's launch causing some players to lose cores. You can claim these from Master Rahul in the Tower. And if you're a returning player, it's worth dropping into see Ada 1 in the Tower Annex, as she will gift you 20 exotic requisition orders, which guarantees new archetype rolls for pre-Edge of Fate exotics you've already unlocked. Also, don't forget to keep an eye on this Friday at Reset, as his wares have now changed, offering legacy items and 2 exotic armors for each class each week, with a guaranteed exotic class item to boot. For our legacy rotation, the Dreaming City this week is at a strong curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in Ria Silvia and has the Dark Monastery mission for the next week. The Blindwell features Taken enemies and the Plague Oinamina. The Ascendant challenge will be the Keep of Honed Edges over in the Harbinger Seclude. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is in the Deep, the Trove Guardian is located in the Hellmouth, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Fallen Council in Archer's Line. Nightmare hunts Fogoth, Fear, Crota, Despair, and Fanatic Insanity. The Altars of Sorrow will start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Fogoth and the Blasphemer Shotgun. On Europa this week, Praxisi Technocrat will be the Empire Hunt, Cadmus Ridge will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Safeguard. Dares of Eternity Expert difficulty rounds are Hive, Vex, and Valister Arc. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Perfector's armor set will be available in Dares of Eternity with Weapon Set 2. Scathlock, Extraordinary Rendition, Brass Attacks, Threaded Needle, Code Duello, Imperial Needle, Far Future, Honor's Edge, Distant Terminus, Interference 6, Shepherd's Watch, and Annual Skate. The Witch Queen Weekly Story mission is the Communion, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Pact. The Wellspring activity will start the week on Attack, with the Arc Auto Rifle Come to Pass and Golmag Hive Ogre as the boss. The Lightfall Weekly mission is Desperate Measures, the Partition mission will be Hard Reset, and the Vex Incursion will be Liming Harbour. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is still available for teams of 2 Guardians, where you can farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. The 12 Guardian Matchmade Excision mission is also available, with the Grandmaster version granting the Ergo Sun Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. With the Edge of Fate, the daily lost sectors have now changed to being 1 per day on each location, rotating each day at reset. And because some locations have 2 or 3 lost sectors, they come up more frequently than those who have more. The lost sector rotation for this week will start with Exodus Garden 2A on the Cosmodrome, Chamber of Starlight on the Dreaming City, the Quarry on the EDZ, Perdition on Europa, K1 Communion on the Moon, Gilded Precept on Neptune, the Conflux on Nessus, Extraction on the Throne World, and the Forgotten Deep in the Pale Heart. Also, with this new expansion, all raids and all challenges are now available all the time. And at present, there are also no featured raids or dungeons each week. The main ones available are the new raid, the Desert Perpetual, over on Kepler, and Dungeons Sundered Doctrine, which can be found over in the Throne World, with the exotic linear fusion rifle Finality's Ager up for grabs. The exotic mission rotator should be Vox Obscura, with the Dead Messenger exotic grenade launcher being the main reward, the Season of Risen's weapon set, plus the Tusk Allegiance armor set. Or we could possibly see the exotic mission Encore over in the Legends tab, with the Choir of One exotic auto rifle being the main reward, and the Episode Echoes weapon set. The exotic missions of the Whisper and Zero Hour will also be available in the Legends tab. And that's it for the 6th week of the Edge of Fate.
I'm going to tell people that my little notification popped up from the Charlemagne bot that new updates were pushed into DIM about which weapons are good and bad. So I'm starting to see little thumbs up here on my Ahab Char and my little Yuletide Apex. So if you've been waiting for the robots to tell you which of these guns are worth keeping, I threw 15 of these in my vault. Which of these are do the people say are good? You should start seeing that on the new weapons now, because we love updates.
Finally, DIM is usable again.
And if DIM has it, the others should too. Though whatever wish list, the Voltron or whatever wish list it is that I'm sure everything uses at this point got an update. So yeah, you should start seeing those little thumbs up again on new things, which makes my brain happy. My brain's also happy because, some people have gone to patreon.com/TTH and said, we appreciate you guys and we like what you do. Our lovely grenade throwers, Renard Calant, Golden God 1562, Noble, the man Conan from Texas, and Farrell, and Deacon's Day 1 team of Gravy Jeff have gone there and said, we appreciate you. Thank you for making this podcast. We like that it's long. We like that it's rambly. We like that we never know what order things are going to happen in. But we know they're all going to happen sooner or later. And thank you, all you lovely people, for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty and Night Demon, maybe sitting around the corners, maybe waiting to punch you. Hard to say. Your budding Warlock is, or maybe Titan now, hard to say, is Donny. Hunter turned Warlock turned Titan. He's in league. Just know he's in league. He is one of the people who is going to keep luring you around corners into the waiting punches of Titans. Don't trust him. Don't follow him. You see the Pink Hunter and you think, I'm going to follow him. Bad things are going to happen. What you should do, though, is you should find us and find this show wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Two Titans and a Hunter everywhere on the internet. If you've got thoughts, if you've been lured in the corners and think you're entitled to compensation, Two Titans and a Hunter at hotmail.com. Send us your stories of woe and your clips of being lured around corners to your untimely demise. You should go to YouTube, because even if Steven doesn't remember when he puts things out or what to tell you about, YouTube will. YouTube will diligently tell you where things are, and then you should watch them and say, can I buy that thing for Bright Dust? What is for sale this week? What does Ada do now? How many Adas are there? YouTube, Two Titans and a Hunter. That'll tell you. If you want to know the videos we told you about or things we link to, twotitansandahunter.com has all the show notes that we talk about every week, or just, in your podcast player. They should be there too. If they're not, get a better one. And if you want to join our Patreon, patreon.com/TTH, we appreciate you. If you're looking for more casual encounter, coffee.com/twotitansandahunter. And as we get near the Arf and Iron update, we get closer to September, we get closer to twitch.tv/twotitansandahunter. So you should go there and hit the little bell, and you never know what's going to happen week to week, day to day.
Yeah.
Just be careful of those corners. Demon, Donny, other people whose names start with D, tell the people goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
Catch you next time on 3 Hunters and No Titans.